quarterback situation there, and that's something we really need to look into. They currently have Drew Lock, who came over to Seattle in that Russell Wilson trade, as well as Jacob Eason, and the reunited situation with Geno Smith, who was the backup for Wilson for the last few years. What's happening with the quarterback situation there? Who is going to be their starting quarterback? Josina, we'll start with you.
Well, it's very interesting because they brought over Drew Lock, JOC, and then they had these press conferences really trying to sell you on the fact that they're confident in Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Right? And, I mean, listen, Drew Lock is a budding prospect in the league, but he is not where other people are as far as a known quantity as a passer. And then when everything was bubbling with Cleveland, you were hearing as far as through sources that they were talking to Cleveland through back channels to try to figure out what the compensation would be for someone like Baker Mayfield. I was hearing that they were told as a second-round pick. Maybe it's a third that could turn around to a second. But this was before Baker Mayfield wrote that Oprah letter, to everyone, telling everybody how he feels. And now that the musical chairs has ended, for, whatever, and now that aren't as many seats, of course, that's going to have an impact when everybody knows that you have to get rid of him. Now, what you started to hear a little bit that even before arriving here is that Seattle had potentially cooled on Baker, what have you, especially as he was making it known that he wanted to go to Indy. Indy has since said that they'd rather have Matt Ryan.
Right. Done deal.
Baker Mayfield, and now there aren't so many chairs. Now, Pete Carroll just addressed the press maybe about an hour ago, and specifically asked them about his interest level in still acquiring a veteran starting quarterback, and he basically told us, yes, they're in the business as a tarantula or buzzing, whatever, just went over my head. Right, I'm still here. It's not arachnophobia. I don't know what's going on. But he still mentioned the fact that they're looking for a veteran starting quarterback, that they're in the business for a starting quarterback. And then I tried to ask him, what traits are you looking for? Does it rhyme with Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, I think it might.
Nimi Napolo, and he basically kind of gave me a coy smile. So they're
what
still
about
looking.
Florida and Fluff? Because I go back to the Green Bay roots, right? John Schneider, he came up under Ted Thompson, as did Brian Gutekunst and everybody who's there now. And they thought enough of Jordan Love to move up and get him a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Jordan Love needs to play some football. Another year behind Aaron Rodgers does him no good. I wonder if his fallback plan in Seattle for John Schneider is Jordan Love. And I think Baker Mayfield now, yeah, I think there's interest, but I don't think they want to pay that full $19 million. Jimmy Haslam, you're paying all this money on payroll. You're $40 million over the cap. You're paying Deshaun Watson all that money. Why don't you eat $5 million of Baker Mayfield salary, and then we'll talk turkey. So that's another one around the draft I think could be interesting.
And you're absolutely right, because typically when the Seahawks do these type of transactions, they're always trying to get the other team to take on as much of that salary as possible and see, what type of deal. And Andrew Berry is going to sit back knowing that he has someone in the first round as a passer and trying to get as much compensation as he can for them. But, I think that they need to try to make it work with Baker. I feel like that's the best option, particularly when and I know we're going to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, but if you're trying to develop that offense with those weapons that you have in Seattle, Jimmy is still trying to heal the right shoulder. He's not passing anytime soon in a substantive way until at least training camp.
Yeah.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.